We are doing walk and talk inside today because it might rain outside. I think it might actually be raining right now, hard to tell. And I have changed my clothes twice. One time of which I took a shower, and I don't want to do that again because I don't want to put on new clothes. I'm not wearing clothes. I'm wearing clothes, just underwear and pants, not shirt and socks and shoes. So I had a little bit of thinking. Wow, my brain's not working, is it? About what I talked about last time, about why I'm not sure why I'm so empathetic and emotional about people being tricked either positively or negatively, but I don't care about anything else at all. And I think it's because I'm aware of lack of knowledge and the knowledge is being withheld. So even if I know it's going to be revealed to them soon and there was no distress and it's all a positive interaction, I'm just aware that someone or some group does not know something, and I'm aware of the thing they don't know, and I'm aware that people are withholding the information. So I believe that's why. Didn't have to do a distant words entry for it, mainly because I just didn't end up doing it. Also, made it short about this today, but I think I can go a little more in depth. What kind of wish would you make if you were given a wish or multiple wishes? I'll go with a wish, and to set rules, it would be fully defined by whatever image you have in your mind, and anything that is not defined within the wish or your intentions will be decided by an omniscient power. So, now assuming it has to follow the laws of physics, or maybe it doesn't, you could change the laws of physics too, I suppose. It can be as long as you want, you can add whatever you want to it. So there's just one wish that covers the longest thing you want, but it can't just be like distinct things like I want to receive an apple and also kill this person and then also do this. It has to fall under a general similar category, and that similar category rule is going to be defined by, again, the omniscient power. So what I discussed in the short is how if you choose any good thing, then you bring up the ethics lord or ethicalness of why not just fix every problem in the world, because why would you fix world hunger or give a renewable power source or destroy climate change or kill every evil person when you can just fix every problem? But then that takes away free will, and then that destroys the purpose of life. And if you reveal the one true religion, if there is none, it goes into crises and it destroys cultures and it ruins the point of some religions. And I'm personally a Christian, so like God's plan, should I be interfering with God's plan at any scale whatsoever? Should I be abusing a supernatural power to do whatever I want and even receive a $1 bill, which was not even breaking laws of physics? It just happened to blow one way because the omniscient and omnipowerful creator that gave me the wish just made one particle bounce in this way instead of that way, which blew the wind that way, which made a dollar bill float towards me. So, I mean, what really would you do ethically? I asked Grok AI about it. It didn't really have any solutions because both that AI and ChatGPT, didn't really solve the solution. They kept giving me benefits, not realizing, as mentioned, trying to benefit the world in any way just brings the question of why not fix everything? Why would you fix one thing? You'd also receive criticism. Would you want to even be famous for it? I mean, this one wish would be, it's powerful, of course. And sometimes I think, like, would you even just wish for financial stability throughout your entire life, or just a stable life in general? Is that selfish? Give everyone a stable life. Well, in that case, why not just fix all the problems? Oh crap, no free will. So see, that's where the problem comes in. Anything you do for yourself individually on a small scale or for a small group can be seen as selfish, but then you expand that to the entire world and make it every problem that ever existed. And now what? Perhaps a more ethical thing would be revealing all of past history. I think that one's kind of ethical. It gives us the true religion through facts and knowledge. It reveals things we would have known previously. It discovers people's killers. I think having all past history documented would ruin some people's jobs, like archaeology. And that also begs the question, how did that happen? Like some things underground, I guess you could have one website and like one server is altered to where all of the information on the server, the bits are flipped in ways that stores all of the information of the past that we don't have. But then again, like, what level does that go to? Does it go over like who farted when, at what time, or just general things? So I guess the omniscient power would decide how far that goes. But if that goes to every point in time, and if we wanted to know everything, then that would just be basically the knowledge of the universe. Like, we could ask questions like, how did the universe start? So that would be quite the problem, I suppose. Really defining anything. Sometimes it's a fun challenge for yourself. Just think of a very, very, very basic thing, like, I want an apple, and to define exactly how that would work, you have to have a decent understanding of quantum mechanics, space-time, molecules and atoms, physics, and I think that's all you'd really have to understand. Sometimes you have to incorporate psychology into things and the conscious mind and stuff. But yeah, it's pretty fun to try and hyper-define things to make sure there's no problems with it. So, back on the topic of what to wish for. What if you were to grant everyone the same wish? Wouldn't that be interesting? What if you were to start a chain in which you were to give the wish to one other person, and in doing so, you start a chain, they're given the wish, they're aware they're given a wish, and they're given a message telling them that they can use the wish, or they can choose to pass, oh my god, double or give it to the next person. Wish edition. Oh god, that's so bad. Just adjusting this weight real quick. So they can double or give it to the next person, and if they choose to, keep it or double it and give it to the next person. And if they choose to keep it and use the wish or wishes, then it's terminated because they were tricked and they were not told. So that'd be kind of a goofy use for it. And then one thing the AI did bring up, Grok AI, is that give people more empathy, but more understanding is a pretty interesting thing. But then, like, how would you necessarily do that consciously? You can't just affect people's brains, conscience. I don't know the differences. So that one's kind of difficult, but even if you could define that and just give people more understanding about things in general and make people better in general, then why not just make everyone a perfect being? And nope, there goes free will. Oh no. So yeah, it's kind of funny. I feel like one potentially ethical thing to do, which would be fair. Fairness is the big thing to keep in mind. So you can propose things like a perfect world, but bad people have to go through trials to improve themselves. So every bad action is given a perfectly just punishment. But then does that kind of defeat the purpose of life? Not really. Oh, hold on. Well, I hadn't thought about that very much, but that kind of makes sense. And it may defeat the purpose of some religions like Christianity. Like, there's supposed to be sin in the world, and we're supposed to deal with it, and we will run into bad people. But what if we had a perfect world where everything was absolutely perfect, but we are given free will? So we're given full choice to do what we want in this world. And perfect doesn't necessarily mean like heaven-esque, where it's just souls for eternity with no sorrow and we're not even humans anymore. Okay, yeah, then they're perfect hard to define. Like, do we have diseases? Do we have cellular decay? Do we go to the bathroom because we even have ways at that point? And then you go into like perfect beings and souls and then heaven at that point. So, that's kind of a tough one. Perhaps an earthly version of perfect, what we could conceive. So earthly materials, nothing magical, just a place where, I guess, okay, so let's make it a little more fair. Just a place, so not everyone could get there, I suppose, which wouldn't be that fair, but whatever. And this place, I've actually thought about this kind of perfect world thing. And if you get there, well, no, because then you'd have to have like the whole judgment thing, and the moment you do a bad thing or choose to think a bad thing, you're exiled and have to do the whole trial thing, and it's a perfectly just punishment. So that part would have to be magical, and you can't really implement that into a more human world. So there's a contradiction there. I don't think we could do that. Or not a contradiction, but a paradox. So what was I going on about before I went off on that tangent? I forgot. I think I was talking about, like, oh yeah. No, I forgot. Well, crap. Yeah, I completely forgot what I was going on about. So, we're going to rule out the idea of any perfect worlds type or perfect anything really. Aliens? Perhaps we could make there be aliens. Oh wait, I was talking about oh yeah, fairness in achieving goals. So we made the world have a point where, in some way, some supernatural way, if you have determination and a true intent, then you can achieve whatever you want. Perhaps we'll allow evil intent. We don't want to take away free will and justness. We don't want to alter the world too much. But if you have the determination and intent, whether be it you're destroying people in the way to get what you want, or you have positive motives, we'll balance those, okay? So a balanced negative, obviously the people who get on top of the top billionaires are the super evil people who trample the ones in their path, and all the good people who are truly honest are the small businesses because they can't succeed in life. So we're going to have to, should we make them balance? I mean, what even defines balance? How can we really do that? I think we just give the proper power to where the more determination you put in exponentially or linearly equates to more goals in life. So let's say you're a small business, you're trying to compete with a Fortune 500 company like McDonald's, and you're obviously not going to beat them, but if you try hard, you will get further, but perhaps not surpass. But if you try even harder and you just legitimately put in as much effort as you can, the more and more effort you put in, the more and more you pass them. So you can keep going without limits. I think there's a limit between, or not really a limit, but more of a border you'd have to cross that gradually increases from you do right to you do wrong, but you're further ahead. So small sacrifices like firing certain people to make a little more money, to all the way to just doing horrible things. Do you have hundreds of billions of dollars and trillions of dollars like across decades? So we'd have to make it to where, I suppose, by doing the right thing, you can get further and further with determination. Whereas right now, I believe there's a limit, and you'd have to break that limit and start doing bad things, even if they're minuscule, to get further ahead. So, I mean, now defining that exactly, that would take some really weird, like, I don't even know how you would possibly do that. Though I do believe that would be a pretty good use of the wish. Allow anyone with the determination to not be set back by whatever their goal is. So, you know, like if you're out of shape, then as long as you have the determination, whereas previously you might have some sort of condition where it's not possible to overcome it, but if you work hard enough, you can overcome it. Well, then you go into like, okay, so if you work hard enough to obtain perfect world peace, I guess there's just a level where you can't work that hard. So it depends on what your goal is. But then that scale, yeah, you can't really judge that. That's the problem. That one's not possible, I don't believe, in any sense at all, unless you were to essentially redefine the Earth itself and, you know, everything. But that would be, I think, the best option. Anything fair really is a good option. If you watch to the end and you still pay attention, I really request that you leave a comment as to what you would wish. God bless you. Hope you enjoyed, and as always, adios.